Have you ever wondered why, after turning 60, your body reacts so differently during sex, especially when your erection does not respond the way it used to? As a urologist, I can tell you that this change is not random, and it is not a sign that your sexual life is ending. In truth, it is a signal that your body is asking for a new type of attention, one that can restore strong erections, natural desire, and the confidence you once had. Many men come to me embarrassed, whispering that their penis feels weaker, slower, or simply unresponsive. But what they do not realize is that intimacy after 60 is not just possible, it is essential for long-term health, emotional balance, and physical vitality. Today, I want to break the silence around this topic and guide you through something simple, natural, and surprisingly effective. You saw it in the thumbnail: bicarbonate combined with one specific ingredient. This mix creates a reaction inside the body that improves blood flow, supports the tissues involved in erection, and wakes up a sexual energy that many men believe they lost forever. It is not magic. It is science. And it is one of the most overlooked strategies men over 60 can use to recover firmness without medication, without risky procedures, and without depending on last-minute solutions. Before we go deeper, I want you to breathe and let go of any shame. Erectile difficulties are far more common than you imagine, and the moment you understand what really happens inside your body, everything becomes clearer. You are not broken. You are not weak. Your erection simply reflects the condition of your circulation and your lifestyle, and the right tools can change that faster than you expect. What you are about to learn may challenge what you believed about aging, sexuality, and male performance. You have probably experienced moments where your penis did not respond when you needed it the most. Has that happened to you? If so, share it in the comments, because your voice helps other men feel understood. And before we continue, make sure you leave a like and check if you are subscribed, because understanding this content might shift your entire perception of male vitality. What comes next may surprise you, and it will open the path for the next part, where we begin to uncover what is truly happening inside your body and why this natural method works so effectively. As we move deeper into what truly shapes male intimacy after 60, it becomes impossible to ignore the biological changes happening beneath the surface. Many men believe that their weaker erection is only about age, but the body is far more complex than that. The structures inside the penis depend on healthy pressure, elastic blood vessels, responsive nerves, and a constant supply of nitric oxide to trigger the expansion that creates a firm erection. When a man crosses the threshold of 60, these systems begin to slow down, not because the body is failing, but because circulation becomes less efficient and the tissues lose some of their natural flexibility. What once happened effortlessly now requires a stronger internal push, and without it, sexual performance declines. Inside the penile chambers, millions of microscopic fibers are responsible for trapping blood and keeping the erection firm. With time, these fibers stiffen, becoming less responsive to arousal signals. The arteries that once opened with ease may narrow, limiting the surge of blood that gives the penis its fullness. Hormonal shifts also play a significant role. Even a mild reduction in testosterone affects libido, stamina, and the mental readiness needed for intimacy. Yet few men realize that these shifts do not signal the end of sexual ability, they simply reveal that the body requires new forms of support. Another change often ignored is the gradual reduction in nerve sensitivity. The penis may begin to respond more slowly to stimulation, creating frustration and anxiety during sexual moments. This emotional tension alone can further weaken erections, trapping men in a loop where the mind and body sabotage one another. Many patients describe it as feeling present in the moment but disconnected from their own body, as if the signal between desire and physical response has become blurry. Circulation remains the core of the problem. The heart pumps blood everywhere, but when blood flow to the pelvis diminishes, erections become inconsistent or disappear entirely. This is Why natural methods that target vascular health are so powerful. They do not mask symptoms. They restore the foundation of male sexual function. When blood can once again travel smoothly through the arteries, when the tissues regain elasticity, and when nitric oxide production is supported, the penis responds quickly, confidently, and consistently. These are the mechanisms that explain why some men maintain strong erections well into their 70s while others struggle much earlier. Understanding these hidden changes is the first step toward reversing them. And once you see how interconnected they are, the logic behind the natural method we are building toward becomes clearer, forming the bridge to what comes next, where we continue unveiling how everyday habits interact with these biological systems and silently influence male performance. As we move further, it becomes clear that biology is only part of the story. What most men do not realize is that their daily habits quietly shape the quality of their erection long before they ever notice a problem. These habits do not usually look harmful. In fact, many seem harmless or even normal. Yet each one interferes with circulation, hormone balance, nerve sensitivity, or pelvic muscle function in subtle ways that accumulate over time. This is why some men suddenly wake up one day surprised that their penis no longer responds the way it once did, even though the decline has been happening silently for years. One of the most damaging habits is the sedentary routine that becomes common after 60. Long hours sitting compress the blood vessels that feed the pelvic region, reducing the oxygen and nutrients the tissues need to maintain elasticity. Without constant movement, the arteries stiffen, blood flow slows, and the erection loses its natural strength. Another habit that men underestimate is poor sleep. A single night of disrupted rest reduces nitric oxide production, a molecule essential for opening the blood vessels inside the penis. When this happens repeatedly, the body struggles to produce the pressure needed for a firm erection. Stress is another silent enemy. Chronic stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that directly interferes with testosterone. Even small increases in cortisol lower libido, reduce sensitivity, and make the body less responsive to arousal. Men often describe it as feeling mentally interested in sex but physically disconnected, as if the body refuses to follow the mind. This mismatch creates frustration, and frustration itself becomes another barrier to sexual performance. The penis is highly sensitive to emotional states, and tension alone can cut blood flow to the pelvic region instantly. Food choices also play a crucial role. Diets high in processed foods, sugar, or excess salt damage the endothelial lining of the arteries, the same lining responsible for releasing nitric oxide during sexual stimulation. When this lining weakens, erections become inconsistent or weak. Alcohol, especially when consumed regularly, further restricts vascular function and slows nerve transmission. Over time, these combined factors create a slow decline that men interpret as aging when, in reality, the problem is the cumulative effect of daily habits. These patterns explain why some men with the same age experience completely different levels of sexual vitality. The penis is not simply reacting to age, it is reacting to the environment you create for it every day. And once you understand how these habits influence your sexual function, the importance of correcting them becomes obvious. This understanding sets the stage for seeing why certain natural strategies, including the bicarbonate-based method, can interrupt these patterns and support the restoration of strong, reliable erections. As we move forward, the role of internal balance becomes increasingly important, especially when we talk about restoring a strong and reliable erection. What many men do not realize is that the chemistry inside the body changes as the years pass, and this shift directly affects how blood flows into the penis. One of the most overlooked aspects of male sexual function is something as simple as pH balance, the internal environment that determines how efficiently cells perform their tasks. When this environment becomes too acidic, circulation suffers, inflammation rises, and the tissues responsible for erection become less responsive. This is where Bicarbonate enters the conversation not as a miracle cure, but as a physiological tool that helps restore conditions the body needs to function properly. Bicarbonate acts as a natural buffer, neutralizing excess acidity and improving the movement of blood through vessels that may have become stiff or narrow over time. For men over 60, even a small improvement in vascular flexibility can make a noticeable difference in sexual performance. When the blood vessels relax more easily, pressure inside the penile chambers increases, allowing the erection to form more fully and hold its firmness. Many men do not realize that acidity in the bloodstream increases with stress, poor diet, lack of hydration, and age-related metabolic changes. Correcting this internal imbalance supports better oxygen delivery and enhances the body's ability to produce nitric oxide, the key molecule that triggers the erection process. Another important aspect is the impact bicarbonate has on muscle function, including the smooth muscle inside the penis. These muscles must relax for blood to flow in, yet when the body is under metabolic stress, they resist opening. By reducing this stress, bicarbonate indirectly supports smoother muscle response and makes the penis more responsive during arousal. This is why some men feel an almost immediate sense of relief or lightness after restoring proper balance. Their body is no longer fighting against itself. But bicarbonate alone is not the full picture. It creates the right environment, but it needs a partner ingredient to unlock its full potential. When combined with the correct natural compound, the reaction inside the bloodstream becomes stronger, enhancing circulation in a targeted way and supporting the tissues that create rigidity. Men often describe the effect as feeling heat or a pulse returning to the penis, a sign that blood flow is moving again with more force. Understanding this mechanism is crucial because it shows that the solution to erectile decline does not always require medication. Sometimes it requires restoring the biological settings that once allowed the body to perform naturally. And as this internal balance improves, the next step is to introduce the specific ingredient that activates the full reaction, turning a supportive base into a powerful method capable of delivering surprising results in a short period of time. Now that the foundation is clear, it is time to reveal the ingredient that transforms the bicarbonate base from a supportive tool into a targeted method for stronger erections. The ingredient is simple, natural, and widely accessible, yet its effects on circulation and tissue response are powerful. That ingredient is lemon. When freshly squeezed lemon juice interacts with bicarbonate, it creates a reaction that supports vasodilation, digestion, oxygenation, and metabolic balance, all of which play a central role in how quickly and strongly blood reaches the penis. This combination is not about forcing an erection. It is about preparing the internal environment so the body can respond with more intensity and confidence. Lemon contains bioactive compounds that stimulate the endothelial cells lining the blood vessels. These cells are responsible for releasing nitric oxide, the molecule that signals the arteries to expand during sexual arousal. As men age, endothelial function weakens, reducing nitric oxide production and making erections slower and softer. The acidity of lemon, when balanced by bicarbonate, supports the release of this molecule in a more efficient way. The reaction between the two ingredients produces a mild effervescence that improves absorption and helps deliver minerals more quickly into the bloodstream. Another factor that makes lemon so effective is its impact on microcirculation. Many men struggle with poor pelvic blood flow because small vessels become restricted. Lemon's natural antioxidants help reduce oxidative stress around these vessels, allowing them to relax more easily. The more relaxed the vessels, the more blood enters the penile chambers, and the stronger the erection becomes. Some men describe a sensation of warmth in the lower abdomen after taking the mixture, a sign that circulation is waking up and pressure is building where it matters most. Lemon also enhances hydration and cellular function, something essential for men over 60. Dehydration is one of the silent enemies of sexual performance. Without enough fluid in the bloodstream, pressure drops, and the penis cannot fill to its full capacity. The electrolytes and minerals released through the bicarbonate lemon mixture help correct this, restoring the blood volume needed for rigidity. But what makes this combination truly compelling is how quickly it acts. Because the reaction begins in the mouth and stomach, circulation benefits can occur within minutes. This does not replace long-term lifestyle changes, but it offers men a practical, natural method that supports immediate improvement. When the internal environment is balanced, when nitric oxide production is stimulated, and when microcirculation responds more efficiently, the penis becomes far more capable of achieving the firmness necessary for satisfying intimacy. Understanding how these two ingredients work together creates the bridge to the next step, where the focus shifts from theory to practical application, guiding you through how to prepare the mixture correctly, when to use it, and how to maximize its effects safely and consistently. Once you understand why the bicarbonate and lemon combination works, the next step is learning exactly how to prepare it so the body can take full advantage of its effects. The preparation is simple, but precision matters, because the balance between the ingredients determines how effectively the reaction supports circulation and restores the internal conditions needed for a firm and reliable erection. Start with a glass of room temperature water, not cold and not hot. Cold water slows digestion, and hot water can weaken the natural compounds released during the reaction. Room temperature allows everything to activate smoothly and reach the bloodstream more efficiently. Add 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate to the water and allow it to settle for a moment. Do not stir aggressively. A gentle mix is enough. The goal is not to create a fizzy drink but to prepare the base that will interact with the lemon. Next, squeeze half of a fresh lemon directly into the glass. As soon as the juice touches the bicarbonate, you will notice a soft effervescence forming. This is the natural reaction that supports metabolic balance and enhances the body's ability to deliver blood to the pelvic area. It is important that the lemon is fresh. Bottled lemon juice does not provide the same bioactive compounds and can limit the benefits. Once the reaction slows down, the mixture is ready. Drink it slowly rather than all at once. This allows the body to absorb the minerals steadily and encourages the circulatory response to unfold without overwhelming the digestive system. Some men notice a warm sensation in the abdomen shortly after drinking, while others feel a lightness or increased alertness. These are signs that the internal environment is shifting in a positive direction, helping the blood vessels relax and the tissues regain responsiveness. Timing also plays an essential role. The best moment to take the mixture is on an empty stomach, either in the morning or roughly 1 hour before intimacy. On an empty stomach, the absorption is faster, and the circulatory effects become more noticeable. Taking it too close to a meal can dull the benefits, because the body directs energy toward digestion instead of oxygen delivery and nitric oxide production. Hydration is another factor that influences how effectively the mixture works. Drinking water throughout the day helps maintain blood volume, allowing the penis to fill more fully when arousal begins. Consistency enhances the long-term effects. While many men feel a difference within minutes, repeating the mixture daily helps restore vascular flexibility and improves the natural mechanisms responsible for erection. This method does not force the body, it supports it. And as the reaction becomes familiar to your system, the circulation to the pelvic area responds more easily. This shift prepares the ground for integrating the method into a broader routine that supports intimacy, vitality, and confidence, forming the link to the next part, where everything comes together into a complete approach for men over 60. When you begin using the mixture with consistency, something important happens that goes beyond the physical response. Men over 60 often describe a renewed sense of confidence, a quiet reassurance that their body is still capable of strong, satisfying intimacy. This shift matters because sexual performance is never just mechanical. It is deeply connected to the way you feel about yourself, the way you engage with your partner, and the way you interpret aging. As the body responds more easily, the mind relaxes, and the natural connection between desire and physical readiness becomes stronger again. What once felt uncertain or inconsistent begins to feel familiar and reliable. The bicarbonate and lemon method works as a catalyst, but it becomes even more powerful when you pair it with habits that support circulation and hormonal stability. Gentle morning movement, hydration, breathing exercises, and light pelvic stimulation all enhance blood flow to the lower abdomen. These small actions prepare the tissues, making them more responsive when arousal begins. Many men underestimate how quickly the body can adapt, but the truth is that the penis reacts positively to any improvement in vascular health. Even minor changes in blood flow can dramatically improve firmness, sensation, and overall performance. Another aspect many men overlook is emotional rhythm. Intimacy after 60 becomes richer when you no longer rush the experience. Allowing your body a moment to awaken, letting arousal build slowly, and focusing on sensory connection all help strengthen the neurological pathways involved in erection. The mixture you learned becomes a signal to the body that something important is happening, encouraging the pelvic region to respond with greater intention. Over time, these combined practices create a new pattern of sexual vitality that feels natural rather than forced. As these improvements take place, you start noticing subtle signs: a stronger morning response, a quicker reaction to stimulation, a warmer sensation in the pelvic region, and a deeper feeling of presence during intimacy. These are indicators that your internal environment is stabilizing and that your erection is becoming more reliable. Men who stay consistent often report that their performance begins to resemble how they felt years earlier, not because they reversed time, but because they restored conditions the body always needed. If you reached this point of the video, it means you value your health, your intimacy, and your quality of life. Feel free to leave a comment saying something like "I am here until the end so I know this message reached you." And if this content helped you understand your body better, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel so you do not miss the guidance that can support you on this journey. There is another video waiting for you that continues this topic in a meaningful way, so take a moment and watch it next. It may be exactly what you need to reinforce everything you learned here and keep strengthening your sexual vitality.